The relationship that you have with food will show you your relationship with abundance. How you eat when you tell yourself, have we had enough? That is a conversation of scarcity and abundance. And the moment you say that we have not had enough and we have to eat past the point of being full, that is a direct reflection of how you feel about the state of your life. And like I've said in previous videos, the brain is a system that records the things that it practices every single day. If you do something in this category of eating, it is most likely going to reflect in another category of your life.
Exactly.
So think about the last time that you ate something. Did you actually taste what you ate, or did you just slurp it down because you were so hungry?
I do not want to comment.
Why?
The moment that you believe that food cannot wait, you are still operating in a very deep scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset that probably was put into your system when you were very young, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. But you have a chance right now to change the story for yourself. This also links to a video that I created recently where I talked about embarrassment being the price for the upgrade, because when you change your food habits, you will start to act differently from the everyday person. Your choices are going to stand out. You have to be willing to look a little different in order to get the goals that you desire. But if you want to look like everybody else, then that is a definite reflection of something that's going on in your belief system about your fear of belonging. Your relationship to food ties into your fear of belonging, ties into your fear or whether you feel safe or not. And if you do not feel safe, you cannot say that you are operating from a place of abundance. Show your body a little bit of love, man. Every single day it's beating, the heart is beating, the brain is firing, the muscles are firing, the digestive system is doing its thing, keeping you alive. The least you could do is to reward it with some good nutrition. And I'm not talking about being so strict that you don't eat a cake when a person invites you to your birthday. If you were putting in a lot of labor for a employer, wouldn't you want to be compensated well? Isn't it fair to compensate your body well for doing all of this hard work for you? A great way to check whether you have a scarcity mindset is to check how fast you're eating. Because when you have a scarcity mindset, your brain literally has tunnel vision because it's focusing on what is in front of it so that it can survive. And if food is in front of it, it's going to make sure it gobbles it up. And when you have a scarcity mindset, long-term thinking becomes very impossible. It was actually tested scientifically that when people were introduced to scarcity before eating a meal, whether they came from abundant environments or not, if the scarcity was introduced to them before the meal, they consumed that meal faster. The relationship that you have with food and how you interact with food every day will show you your relationship with abundance. Because depending on your metabolism, 3 times a day you come across a decision to feed yourself, and there your nervous system gets a chance to practice. Your nervous system gets a chance to practice trusting that there is enough or consuming if there isn't enough. Whatever your nervous system practices 3 times a day, 2 times a day, becomes the posture of how you interact with everything else. The person who eats while they're standing up in front of the sink brings the same energy when it comes to money. They spend it before something else takes it. The person who cannot finish a meal without checking their phone brings that same kind of distraction and fragmentation to the things that they choose to build. They are always managing something else before the thing in front of them is complete. Are you able to recognize that pattern in your life? Wherever you feel like you need to shortchange presence will probably show up in how you relate to food. In Japan, in a place called Okinawa, which is a place that has the highest concentration of people above the age of 100. There's a practice called hara hachibu, and that practice means that you eat until you are 80% full. And this is not a thing about losing weight or gaining weight. It's about taking a pause. It's about sitting in abundance, because when you are in scarcity, you want to consume everything that is in front of you. But when you are in abundance, you're okay with just consuming 80%. There's going to be a moment after you eat or while you're eating where your body is going to ask you, have we had enough? And as the consumer, you should be able to say yes, even while there's still food in front of you. That pause is the entire practice. And when you practice that pause while you're eating, your body is learning. Your mind is learning that it does not need to consume to the edge for it to feel safe. But a lot of people have been trained to finish their meals, their entire plate, even if they're full. They eat past that pause without even noticing. When you decide to change how you eat, yes, it can be a health decision, but most of it is an identity decision. Because the person who eats slowly is not the most disciplined. They just have a different operating system running while they're eating. And that operating system says, I am someone who has enough. I am somebody who does not need to consume at a speed of someone who might not be able to get another chance. The belief that you are somebody that will always have enough will show up in how you eat. How you relate to food can show up in other areas of your life. Eating is not this one thing that is compartmentalized and is separate from your entire being. The French are a group of people who have always confused researchers because they are a group of people who eat a high-fat diet. They drink a lot of red wine, they have a lot of sauces in their food, but they are a group of people that have significantly lower rates of disease than other countries who objectively eat cleaner foods. And when the researchers looked at this demographic, they realized that it's not about the food, it was the meal. The French culture, compared to other cultures, treat the meal as the event. They don't treat meals as refueling stations that you need to rush through. Compared to other demographics, they treated their meals as times to savor, as things that you had to be present to take part in, as something that deserved to be experienced. And a body that eats that way digests food very differently. It registers satisfaction very differently. It relates to abundance very differently because of the relationship that was brought into this experience. Do you eat your food in a state of distraction? Do you eat your food quickly? Do you eat your food standing? The body that is standing over a counter while eating is a body that is in transit. A body that is in transit is a body that believes that it doesn't have a lot of time. A body that believes that it doesn't have a lot of time is a body that is operating in a state of crisis. Before you take your first meal, even if you're very hungry, just take a deep breath and just be thankful for being able to have whatever it is that you're consuming in front of you. And that moment of taking a step back is giving your brain a chance to think, to come online before the survival brain kicks in. And it only takes 3 seconds between your survival brain and you participating in that event. Chewing your food and putting your utensils down between every single bite is also something that helps your brain breathe so that it doesn't automatically kick into a survival state. A nervous system that can be present for a meal is a nervous system that can be present for life. These abundance and manifestation channels can keep things very abstract, and I get where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, everything literally comes from your biochemistry. And the most available daily practice that can literally influence your biochemistry is what you put in your body. The meal that you have 3 times a day, 2 times a day. Because what you eat, when you pair it with thinking well and speaking well with yourself, what you eat, those chemicals have a direct impact on the health of your nervous system. So imagine you doing all these affirmations and all these visualizations, but your nervous system is unhealthy. Come on, that crisis that was written into your programming when your mother was forcing you to finish your plate of food, that crisis is over.